Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your July 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Nice. Fantastic. Okay. So at the bottom is the energy that grounds us. This deck is only major arcana, so that's why it is quite tiny. Then on the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And if you guys have been with me since the beginning, you will know that this is the deck that I solely used when I first started reading on YouTube. It has been through the war with me. It has this beautiful smell. It's been cleaned and ironed flat so many times so that it, it kept on working like it does. So it is a joy to have it back. All right, so let's see what the tarot has to say. At our root, we have the Fool and we have the Star. Now that's going to be a big thing because the full moon on the 23rd of July is in Aquarius, and the full moon on the 22nd of August, which I've checked many, many times, is in Aquarius also, because the full moon on the 23rd of July is in Capricorn up until 8:12, yes, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when it moves into When it moves into Aquarius, all right, at 8:12 and at 8:37 p.m., okay, is when the full moon is completely up, or, it just says when the full moon is. So that is what everything that I have been reading about this full moon and meditating on has been saying. So the intensity, the power of it comes there and is in Aquarius. So we have that beautiful Aquarius energy for this full moon, for the next full moon coming into play. Now, in our inner self, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Ten of Wands, and we have the Tower, which makes perfect sense. We have the new moon, which is on the 8th of August in Leo. It is calling us to change, most definitely, and we can feel that coming forward during this time. This time is preparing us for change. The moon is quincunx, I think I'm saying that right, quincunx Venus, and the sun is quincunx Jupiter. So during this time, it makes for a bit of tension between these signs, to say the absolute least. Then we have the Ten of Cups at our emotional self, the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. We have the Universe, which is the world in this deck. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. In our public arena, we have the Eight of Swords, and we have the Lovers coming through, and that's Gemini energy. So this is going to be a very powerful time for us, a time promoting change, a time guiding us forward. The full moon is calling us to home, family, intimate relationships. It all comes into focus now, and the 2 weeks following the full moon, the 2 weeks of the moon's phase. Opposing forces are going to be very strongly felt during this time. So work and home, wants and needs, everything that is polarity during this time is going to be very much in our face. So that's going to be something that we have to be mindful of. Emotions and intensity reach their peak during the full moon. Increased emotional awareness and intuition needs to be our guide, and yet we're going to want to sit there and say, no, I need to see it, I need to feel it, I need to have it all kind of laid out very specifically, but we need to trust ourselves during this time. You will clearly see, okay, the relationship dynamics, good or bad, coming forward during this time, and you need to trust yourself. Negativity causing disharmony, okay, the negativity that is causing disharmony is also going to come up. And this negativity that causes disharmony is going to be something that we fight against. Inwardly, we can see it quite prominently here. We can see it in our emotional self with the Five of Pentacles, and we can also see it in the public arena with the Eight of Swords. So this is going to be a time where we're on this new journey. We are really guided forward by our wants, our wishes, our desires, because the full moon in Aquarius says, show the world the real you. And this is going to be something that we find astoundingly hard to do, to show the world the real us. Before we were being prepped for this, we were being challenged, and now we need to show the world the real us. And what happens is that the full moon always calls us to power through surrendering to the divine. And as we embrace that power, that surrendering to the divine, all right, with the moon, quincunx Venus, it increases our need for love and affection. It also increases the tension between us when it comes to our love and when it comes to our loved ones and what we love within our lives. Relationship tension rises because we are hypersensitive to the imbalances around our emotional support and around our loved ones. We're going to be wanting so much from everybody, especially ourselves during this time, that we're going to find it hard for people to live up to our expectations, including ourselves. We need to look at the imbalance around self-love and also how we feel about ourselves during this time. This is going to be a time where we need to step back and say, what do I love? What do I want? And it can drive us up and down the Mississippi, because it can be like, okay, this is what I love, this is what I need, this is the disharmony that I'm seeing, this is the cycle that I am attempting to break. But how do I move forward in the power of me? With the sun quincunx Jupiter during this time, this creates tension around our personal success in life, how we view ourselves as successful. And what we're going to do is really going to push hard during this time to release this tension, which is going to make us appear astoundingly lucky. But it's going to be that type of tension where I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove that I can do it. I'll prove that, nobody should have ever doubted me. And this can put so much pressure on ourselves that we need to be mindful of this. And we can wrap up our whole identity during this time into our achievements, which then bring us the problem of greed, of guilt, of addiction, of, all those negative emotions that come from saying, I am worth something because I have achieved something. This is going to be a time where we really need to focus on showing the world who we are. Because with Venus opposite Jupiter during this time, it is great for socializing and loving and relaxing, which sounds at odds with the Venus and Jupiter being quincus the moon and the sun. But what it's also going to bring is a tendency towards laziness and carelessness during this time. So we can have all these really good intentions, but because we feel so overwhelmed, because the emotions run so high, we really do need to be mindful of the way that we are embracing the energy of love and peace and harmony and coming together for ourselves during this time. It leads us to the new moon on the 8th of August. And the new moon always brings us to a new start and to new beginnings. It always makes me think of the god Janus in Roman mythology, the god who gives its name to January, the walking from one portal to another, the god of beginnings, the god of portals. And during this time, the new moon is in Leo, and it says here, confidence is your key to success. And that's going to be very important, but we have to be very mindful of this new moon amplifying our ego and our pride. Being confident is going to be great. Being prideful is going to be something we have to be mindful of. This new moon is squared Uranus, bringing sudden and unexpected change. The new moon is all about change during this time for us. It also brings instability, chaos, and revelations. It's all coming at us all at once. And we can see that we're deeply driven by this energy of change. And we can see that in showing the world the real us, saying, this is me, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. We're fighting against the emotional snares of Venus. We're fighting against the kind of pompous snares of Jupiter. And we need to say, this is what I desire within my life. Come the new moon, this then comes up even further to the chaos of change. And yet we can't stop the change that is coming during this time. We have to embrace it. There's a brave new path that's opening up to us if we are brave enough to have a flexibility of mind, a creativity of spirit, and a innovation, integrity of self during this time, and not to fall into impulsiveness, because this is going to be a time where it's really easy for us to say, I want this change, I just need something to change, and we're just going to want to be impulsive because at least something is happening. What we need to be mindful of during this time also is that we can be led to abruptness and impulsiveness during this time, and we need to balance everything with a sense of calm, with a sense of introspection, with a sense of receiving divine messages, because that's what this time is really about, this new moon. It's getting these divine messages from the universe, and we have the world opening to us, the universe opening to us quite beautifully here in our hearts, and receiving that message is going to be so important. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time, and also the chakra energy for this time. So let's see here. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during the July 2021 full moon? What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Justice. And that makes perfect sense. During this moon, we can fall into the trap of wanting everything to be fair, of wanting everything to be just. Everything has to have its right and proper meaning and place and category. And that's not going to be this time. This time is a bit messy. This time is a bit raw. This time is a bit real. This is a time where we say to the world, this is me. Like it, awesome. Don't like it, that's also great. This is who I get to be. This is discernment. I always had a bit of trouble with justice because I always thought it's the letter of the law. It's the white page, the black print, everything having to be rigid and structured. And that never resonated with my soul. But there's a sense here of being discerning. What energy is right for your spirit, your body, your soul, yourself? Where is it and how is it that you want to express yourself? Where do you feel comfortable and happy? These are going to be the questions that need to be asked during this time and need to be embraced. Now let's look at the chakra energy that guides us here. What is the chakra energy for Aries during July 2021 full moon? What is the chakra energy for Aries during the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, there we go. I love it. It just popped right out, making itself absolutely heard. So we have the Earth Star Chakra, and this is grounding. This is located 6 inches below our feet. This is the Earth Star Chakra, the sense of our roots, ourselves, and the soil that nourishes us, the beauty that moves with us, the power that is a part of us. We are being asked here, how are we planting our roots? How are we feeding our souls, ourselves? How are we moving forward in the essence and in the brilliance that is who we are meant to be? And are we? This is a time where the tough questions have to be asked. Am I moving forward in the right way? Am I following that rabbit down the rabbit hole? Am I going towards something beautiful and something amazing? Am I pushing the boundaries of what I have expected, what I have wanted, what I have needed? The Fool asks us to be brave. It asks us to take that leap of faith, to say that there is something brilliant ahead. And that's going to be the merging power, the pushing power during this full moon, to say, this is me. This is my intensity. This is my power. This is my brilliance. This is my essence. This is my time for something new. Instead of being shrouded in the cobwebs of the past, how do I move forward in the brilliance and in the intensity of my future, of my power, of what my heart desires? And it leads us to this full moon quite brilliantly speaking to our souls, quite brilliantly pulling away the layers and saying, this is who I am. This is where I need to be. This is a balance between my emotional self and my earthly self, the sense of the opposing forces coming into play. How do I stand in me? How do I embrace the ferocity and the power and the loveliness and the calm and the brilliance of my voice, of myself, of where I want to stand, of why I want to stand there? What is it that my soul has been longing for? And how is that wish being heard? This is a time where divinity is really listening, not to the surface stuff, not to the stuff that we cross our fingers and say, oh my gosh, I wish I could, XYZ, but to the stuff our soul longs for. We might want somebody to come in and save us, but what spirit really sees is us wanting to be the heroes of our own story. There are a million different things here that are going to show us the strength that we have, the power that we have. And if we can look at the ego and say, I see you, I honor you, I respect you. You keep me going. You have me as a part of this rat race of this world, and I respect that. But I have to move forward in my soul's brilliance, in what I need, in what I want, and not always be looking over at the person next to me. It's not about how the person next to me is doing in the race. It's how I myself am doing. And this is a time to let our soul shine and to say, this is my love, this is my passion, these are my hopes, these are my dreams, this is me. And it moves us in our inner self to this beautiful turn of events, to saying, I see what has fallen, but I also see what still stands. And I'm done mourning. I'm done mourning the loss. And I am now calling in the brilliance and the love and the healing. And as I call in this brilliant love, this powerful healing, I pick up my burdens and I move them towards a place of comfort, towards a place of being able to put them down. This isn't saying I'm going to be bent over, straddled with my burdens my whole entire life, that there is only going to be me seeing the dirt on my shoes and never the sky, never the stars, never the moon. This is a time where we start to look and we say, I'm done. I'm done carrying dreams for other people. I'm done, living in others' expectations. People need to carry their burdens. People need to see what they need to see for themselves. I embrace and step into the power that is me. And instead of carrying my dreams, carrying my passion, I am now moving them to build this bonfire, to build these dreams and these wishes, these hopes and these expectations. And it leads us to the tower. Because here's the thing. I am of the firm belief that maybe when we're really little, we know who we are, absolutely. But as we grow, we tend to lose that with everybody else's expectations coming at us. And the tower is when divinity throws us out of our comfort zone and says, remember. Remember what it is that you wanted. Remember what it is that you're fighting for. Find your voice, find your passion, find your power. And usually in a way that leads us soot-stained and tear-streaked and overwhelmed. But the tower brings change. It doesn't have to be a horrible change, but it's a change that rocks our world nonetheless. This is a time where we look at that change, where we look at the way life has given us, twists and turns and shaped our world in ways that we didn't want, in hurts and in pains, when we found out who we weren't instead of finding out who we are. And this is a time where we start to say, but this is who I am now. Because of all the hurt I have been through, all the dismay that I have endured, this is where I stand. This is why I stand here. And this is where I need to be. And the tower has caused us to look at our world so differently. If everything was perfect, it's kind of like the story of Siddhartha, right? Siddhartha became the Buddha because he saw suffering. His father tried to keep him from it, but he saw it and it broke his heart and it changed his world. Because we have seen suffering, because we have been through suffering, because we have gained this understanding, it has changed our world and set us on a different path. Now it can be the path of the ego or the path of the tyrant, but it can also be the path of the healer, the path of the seeker, the path of the awakened. And it's all up to us which path we walk. And it brings us then to our hearts and the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups makes me think, especially this one, of the Nordic saying, it's better to be king of a cottage than servant in a castle. It is better to love our lives than to always be looking at what could have been, what should have been, what might have been, and to live in the cobwebs of the past. This is a time where what we love has meaning and worth and depth. To show the world who we truly are is to embrace who we are, for better or for worse. And this is saying here, to be the ruler of our own world, to step into the power of our heart, the beating of our soul, the understanding of ourselves. To say, this is what I love. This is the child that is within me. This is the adult that I have become. And this is a sense of passion and beauty and coming together that is true and open and honest and loyal to myself, but also loyal to my dreams and why I'm here. This is falling in love with life. And this is realizing that love over and over again. It brings us to the death card. It brings us to the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. It brings us to change. It brings us to being led by the dogs of the Fae that only the spirits can see. And this is going to be a time where we are led forward in a way that we hadn't thought possible. And by a call, by a feeling, by an urge that just moves us forward in intoxication, in beauty, in ritual, in seeing. But it's our rituals for our souls. It's not dogmatic truth unless it needs to be, unless that resonates with you. This is a sense of, I get to move forward, and I get to be transformed, reborn, gaining an understanding of myself. And it brings us then to the universe opening, because we have the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. We have this sense of, I am not the same person I was when I started this whole thing. When I was presented before the moon the first time, when the moon first shone on my face, when I first became aware of myself and what I wanted and what I desired. This is going to be a time where if we open our hearts up fully to it, Aries, we can be watched anew, where it can almost feel like the tides of the ocean come over us. The waves of the ocean wash over us. The tides take us out, and we can feel our soul and our heart calling to the waters of change that the moon brings. And it brings us to this place of the universe. It brings us to this place of being this ephemeral being, to say, I am not held tight anymore to others' expectations, others' wants, others' desires. This is me. I get to soar high and free into the power of myself, into the beauty of my soul, into the place that I need to be. The universe opens. It's not just the world, it's the universe. And it's seeing the world so differently, not by other people's measurements, but by our own. And it leads us to the Five of Pentacles, to no longer saying, I'm kept out in the cold, kept away from wealth, kept in a poverty mentality. I'm opening up the door. I'm seeing things more honestly for myself. I'm calling forward wealth and blessing and good wishes and power and prosperity. And I get to be everything that I dreamed of and more. I get to be more than I realized I could be. And that starts to change the game. And it brings us to the public arena, where we're going to feel doubt and fear. The Eight of Swords is being trapped by others' expectations, by people telling us what we can and cannot do, by ourselves thinking it's never going to end. I always have to be like this. It's always going to be like this. They said I couldn't, and they're right. This is a time where they said you couldn't, and you're going to say, watch me. Watch me as I break free of my ties. Watch me as I see clearly. Watch me as I move forward. This, especially in the public arena, okay? You're going to have people say no, and you're going to find that the tenacity, the quincus of Jupiter, okay? The sun, quincus Jupiter, is coming in, and you're going to be like, watch me. And this is where you seem lucky. This is where you can absolutely devastate other people's expectations. You know, their negative words over you, their curses, right? That's what negative words are, curses that they put on you. And this can be the time, if you use that energy of Jupiter correctly, where you can find yourself breaking free, moving forward. But remember to be very, very mindful not to put your whole identity in what you can achieve. This is a time to say, this is me, this is what I'm going after. It might fail, fine. It might not, awesome. But I'm heading towards something greater and something more. And no longer does a curse get to be my future. And it moves us then into the Lovers. It moves us into the Lord and the Lady, into a powerful, beautiful sense of this is who I am, this is what I love, I'm falling in love with my life again, I'm embracing passion, tenacity, insight, and determination, and no one will stop me. This is going to be a time where the doors open. Walk through. Let your heart guide you, Aries. You're going to want to have some more excitement to it. You're going to want to have things be a little bit more intense. This is intense enough. If done right, this is exquisite. To walk forward in love. To break the chains of doubt and despair and despondency. To say, this is my life and this is my beauty and this is what I get to live. This is who I get to be. And no one gets to stop me. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. Perfect. At our roots, a new romantic cycle begins. Don't let fear rob it from you. A personal issue reaches resolution. The masculine energy comes into play. Your hard work is paying off. Release what needs to be released. Don't let your past hold you back. There's purity within the present. That is what Spirit was saying, just so beautifully, and the moon now reiterates it. A new romantic cycle begins. A sense of falling in love with life again. A sense of a new adventure, a new time, a new space, a new way of being. But fear can keep us caged right in the middle. can keep us held back, can clip our wings. Now it is time to break the cage and fly free. That is going to be the hardest thing about this time. To be afraid and not let that fear rule us. A personal issue reaches resolution. We have to embrace the sacred masculine during this time. The masculine energy of our warrior selves. The masculine energy of how we want to move forward within our lives. Of our sense of purpose, sight, and determination. It brings us then to our hard work paying off. But we need to release. We need to release the doubts and the fears. We need to release what has kept us small so that we can fly. And there's part of our souls, there's part of ourselves that have been locked away. Dreams that are too sacred to let into the light of day. Now it is time to let ourselves dream and be and express. It leads us then to the public arena. And it says, don't let the past hold you back. Don't let yourself be draped in cobwebs, dressed in dust and forgotten dreams. There's purity in the newness that is coming. There's purity in the freshly driven snow, in a sense of a new falling forward for us. It brings us to our subconscious Luna message. Take time to breathe out. So often during this time, we're going to be breathing in. We're going to be going and wanting and seeing and preparing. Take time to breathe out. Take time to connect with your breath and to yourself and your dreams. Because it is going to be in the exhales. It is going to be in the moments in between words that the pleasure and the realization and the power comes and the beauty guides us forward. The subconscious energy we have to be mindful of is the Hierophant, Taurus energy, but also a sense of tradition meaning everything, of institutions having the answers. This is going to be a time where we need to carve our own path, to see our own sights and embrace our own dreams. This is going to be a time where convention and where we stand kind of are at odds with each other. Our subconscious chakra message is spiritual awakening, the crown chakra. A sense of knowledge coming in that we hadn't expected, moving us forward in a way that we hadn't realized we longed for. We are crowned with wisdom. We are crowned with brilliance. We have to let that crown guide us. Our subconscious rooted message is justice. The same energy we are to be mindful of is the same energy that roots us, that grounds us during this time subconsciously. We want things to be fair. We want things to be just. We want things to have rhymes and reasons. During this time, it's going to be very hard to realize that some things just don't. And that there is beauty in the chaos, but also there needs to be discernment within the chaos. It's not saying, oh, well, who the heck cares? It's saying, how do I flow forward in this energy, in this chaotic time that is a segment of my life, that is the power of my consciousness, understanding, and being. It moves us then to our subconscious inner self. Which is the Ten of Cups. And they all live happily ever after. Joy and happiness and beauty, it's in our heart chakra. It's in our heart energy here. The Ten of Cups. Love and coming together. Hope and dreams and wishes and a desire for the self. The beauty of our being. And it moves us forward in this way of saying, if my heart is connected, if my soul is at peace, how can it be wrong? As long as I am coming from a place of love and compassion, of honor of self and understanding, how can it be wrong? Our subconscious emotional energy is the Two of Wands reverse. The world isn't about, everything that's out there, even though we have the universe within us at this time. This is subconsciously us saying, I have to look at me. I have to look at what I want and what I need and what I desire. And it might seem selfish and self-centered, but it's not going to be. This isn't going to be the time to take everything in. It's going to be the time to say, what do I need? Or where does my heart need to be right now? And how does that open to me, truly, openly, and honestly? So we have to be very mindful, especially with our hearts. We're going to want to take everything in, pull everything close, help everyone and do everything. And subconsciously we're being told to be mindful, to take small and steady steps, powerful steps towards dreams and desires, hopes and wishes. And it leads us then to our subconscious public arena. And that's the Seven of Cups. Dreams coming forward. Wishes to be considered. Dreams to come to the world again and not to be hidden away. That is what Spirit was saying before. There's purity in the heart that needs to come forward. In the expression, in the imagination, in the beginning of self. That opens up the door. Let yourself open up the door. See the dreams that were considered too big, or that were too grand at one point or another for you to dream. And start to see those dreams coming to fruition now, in a different way, but in a powerful way. It is time to bring them back, to show the world the real you, and to remind yourself of your path again, of your powerful and profound truth. All right, Aries, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the beauty of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may you have a blessed moon.